Hello, Christina Resso. Thanks for tuning in and happy Monday to each and every one of you. I hope you all are doing well and had a great weekend. And speaking of news stories, there's a lot that's been going on in our world. There were so many, that I always pick what I choose to cover. And if you want me to cover something, feel free to mention it in the comment section. But I try to, you know, pick stories that are accurate along with my content. So this new virus that's coming out, we still got problems with corona. Like a few of our students even got held back because they tested positive. So we still got that issue. But now, as I found out earlier today, that we have this disease called not money, monkeypox. Um, is it similar to the chicken pox? Based on some of the images, I would say yes. By the appearance of it, I won't show you that it's inaccurate. But if you want to see the images, you can Google it yourself. I'm just going to read the article and background about it. Now, some people have said that it's either by, sexual contacts, a sexual transmitted disease, uh, or physical contact with someone being near them, like, a person that has tuberculosis or something like that. Right now, it's currently spread in the UK, some parts of Africa, and I believe Asia as well. Now, the question is, and I'm just throwing it out there in the chat, should we Americans be concerned about this new virus? Or maybe it's not new and it was always out there, it just either hasn't hit here yet, like the COVID-19, or we just haven't recognized what it was yet. Because we have so many STDs there, but the big ones are, of course, HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia, especially in uh, high and minority populations. I mean, I hate to break it down to you. Being in prison, they're prone to engage in sodomy. So when they get out, they spread that to if they have girlfriends on the side, or any significant other, and or spouses, they're likely to pass that on to them. Okay. So it's not on an attack. I'm just talking facts based on what I know. The data is there. If you don't believe me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read this article that I discovered on the BBC. The BBC is a British newspaper article that talks about these things. And, since this is news from the UK. Okay, so comment as I go along. On Friday, the UK confirmed the number of cases had more than doubled, bringing the total to 20. Now, I know that doesn't sound a lot, um, but what would that be? Like every fourth person you may come in contact with? Come my math is terrible. Then most likely that person is going to have it, um, or probably less than a third. A third would be 27%. Um, but yeah, uh, and of course it's going to increase because maybe they have the symptoms, but the signs may not be visual yet where they can see it. So excuse me, People may have it and may not even know it. All right. Health Secretary Saji Javid said 11 new cases have been confirmed and most cases were mild. How is it common? Monkeypox is caused by the monkeypox virus, a member of the same family of virus as smallpox, although it is much less severe and experts say chances of the infection are low. Okay. Two main strains of the virus where it's occurring, West and Central Africa. Why am I not surprised? Two of the infected patients in the UK traveled from Nigeria, so it is likely that they are suffering from West Africa strain, which is generally mild. Another case was a healthcare worker who picked up the virus from one of the patients. Oh, that can happen as well. You see people in the healthcare field, most likely, they caught the virus. That's why they were the first to be recommended to be vaccinated. Okay. Symptoms: fever, headaches, swellings, back pain, aching muscles. Um, Usually a rash breaks out if there's a fever, um, often beginning on the face, then all over the parts of the body. Okay. And it could be itchy or painful, and changes go through different stages before finally forming a scab, which later falls off and could cause scarring. Okay. Um, Usually with scabs, I don't know if that would be permanent or not, because I'm sure they would have some type of anti-itching cream, even if it's Caravan lotion or something. So you won't itch that sore and it becomes worse. Um, Even, I mean, this is just common sense. Even if you get bitten by insect, not to keep making it worse by scratching it. How do you catch it? It's spread when someone is close contact with an infected person, okay, just like an STD. Virus can enter through the body through broken skin, respiratory tract, and through the eyes, nose, or mouth. It has not previously described as a sexually transmitted infection yet, but it has been passed on by direct contact, through sex. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, if it's affecting the blood, you have that type of contact with someone, and I'm sure it's the same. Uh, Not only sharing um, a man's semen, but through blood transfusions um, or any type of blood that's tainted through sharing needles and things like that. I mean, how those type of body fluids can transfer from one to another. Is it dangerous? In most cases, the virus are mild. Doesn't sound that way to me. Sometimes resembling chickenpox and clear up on their own within a few weeks. So they're saying it's not severe yet, but you still want to avoid this. Okay. Uh, Scabs. I mean, if it's going to be a permanent scar, how are you going to heal that? I mean, unless you go to a special dermatologist or a physician that knows how to cure these things. I mean, as far as the scab. Okay. However, they're more severe in parts of Africa, as I mentioned, West and Central Africa. Um, and then they mention this is going to trigger, but homosexuals being in contact with that. And again, the data shows they're one of the most careless people to engage in sexual activity because they have a lot more partners than heterosexual people, especially within a marriage covenant, unless one of the spouses goes out and commits adultery and take that risk of infecting his or her spouse. But when it comes to, a lot of cases, homosexuality, they have more partners than ever. Okay. So I know there are people like Donna Summers, as an example, in the 1980s when she exposed them um, with AIDS, that they were more likely to catch it. It kind of hindered her career because even though she was a Christian, she still couldn't word those things. But it wasn't out of hate or anything. You just put the facts out there. Just like there are um, facts about men and women being different. Okay, that's just common sense. We're not the same as animals. Okay, even though people want to think that we are. Um, you can't really trust animals because their instinct is not the same as ours. They're more prone to attack you, despite of how loving they may appear. Okay, so it's factual common sense things. So they mentioned gay and bisexual men, anyone who comes to close contact with someone with that monkeypox could potentially get the virus. Um, uh, uh, I don't know what to say about that. If I sit next to them, I don't think that'll be an issue like public transportation because I really don't hang in their neighborhoods like that. Um, or go to their festivals and things like that. Now they do exist. I will run it. Of course, we're gonna run into them. But if it's public transportation or something, and now I may panic if I see what do you call those swords that it was on that movie Philadelphia that Tom Hanks was in. It was on the back of his neck, and that lady saw it in the clinic, and she knew he was infected with AIDS. So if I see something like that, of course, and I'm not sorry either, I'm gonna move. Common outbreaks, as we know, since the 1970s, throughout 10 African countries. 75% of the victims, I'm just strolling along between the ages of 21 to 40 years old. Okay, vaccination have been proven 85% effective, even with smallpox and monkeypox. The UK bought the doses of the smallpox vaccine, and then there are other um, researchers that are still doing research on this. Now, the president, should we be concerned? Honestly, I don't know, or not yet. I'm not gonna give a firm yes or no. We'll just have to wait. The president couldn't even answer. Well, poor soul. Keep him in prayer. He was asked about it and he really couldn't give an answer. Um, I mean, if he has to read a card to thank the military for their service, I mean, he had to read this from a card. And of course, the servicemen and women are looking at him like, okay. So, I mean, if he doesn't know, I'm sure this outbreak happens, we will find out one way or another. Should we worry about that? I don't think, not as for right now. Uh, hopefully the vaccine that they found out from the UK, if that were to come here, that it'll hit, you know, the vaccine will hit as soon as possible uh, to, well, I gotta find out if it's that because I'm not quick at just putting no vaccine in me. Um, then if we get this as soon as possible, then we get this effective as soon as possible, so it won't be spread and we won't lose probably not as many people globally as we had with this COVID situation. Christina Red Soul, thanks for listening. Pray for our nation and our brothers and sisters in the persecuted church globally, and I'll talk to you super soon.